live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terry Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
Hello and good evening to everyone out there in Connections 50 Plus Land and 50 Plus World. Welcome to Connections 50 Plus throughout the Caribbean. Our viewers on Guyana, from Belize right across to Antigua, Barbuda. Yes, I've jumped over the big islands. And yes, Jennifer is not here to sit Terry and stop calling out all these islands. I am jumping. I left out Cuba and Hispaniola and Jamaica. You all realize I left them out. And now I'm jumping to the south, Trinidad as an island, and leaving out St. Vincent and Antigua and Barbuda and Barbados and Grenada. You see, I left all of those out, and Trinidad.
Okay, you leave them out. I just heard all of them.
I left them out. I'm shortening things. And of course, our Caribbean nation state, Guyana, in the south. Welcome.
Impressive.
I'll leave out some islands, don't worry. And welcome to the Connections Wednesday Alive show. And welcome again to Gael viewers and to our YouTube and Facebook followers. Well, okay, so last week you all met Michael, our new associate, who pitched in with Jennifer and had a debut. And we have to balance things off this week. So, Michael, you did well. I think our show was fantastic last week.
Hey, it was a great time.
Yes. And you'd recognize this lady down below because I think she has been here before. Pat Whittle, how are you?
Wonderfully well.
Wonderfully well.
Wonderfully well.
Great, great. So today is a special day. We are getting on to discussing, as you would realize, we're doing a series of the dilemmas that face our 50 plus crowd. Oh, wait. I have one other very, very special greeting to do. To Mrs. Dora Gibbons, who celebrated her 99th birthday on Sunday. That is Jennifer's mom.
Wow.
Dora, blessings abundantly from Connections 50 Plus. I mean, we talk about there is life after 50. We talk about 5.8 G. And we say we're going to retire at 80. Dora has gotten to 99 and Dora is going to hit that century next January. So Jen had a lovely luncheon for her. She said she had a telephone birthday party. I think she got 100 phone calls. So happy birthday, Dora. Looking forward to be having you with us to really celebrate that big 100 next January. So we are talking today about the transition. You know, last week we talked about a person who took the bold step and decided to come home. Just uproot herself from the US and come home and start again. And, you know, sometimes people may say, well, she was brave. She had her pension. She has her US dollars and so on. And they give themselves all kinds of reasons why they can't. But we know that sometimes, not sometimes, many times, people have something that they used to do, that they could do, a talent, that as they approach their years, their retirement, or if retirement comes upon you, and you begin to think, my God, what can I do? You know there's something there, but there is the withholding, there's the fear, there's the concern. I wonder. So today, our guest, Patricia Whittle, is one who we consider to be, well, she's a graduate of the Connections 50 Plus Primetime Reset. And Pat, though she is still in her substantive position as an insurance sales representative, has really made some progress in terms of preparing that parallel income source. And I thought it would be a great conversation, Pat, for us to just go through your process, because you know, there might be some inspiration for people who have something they can do, have an idea they want to start, and just are unwilling to dive. You know, so Michael and I are going to have the conversation, leading it off, and we'll hear your story. Okay, nice. So let me just start off by Pat, just give us a sense of where you are right now in terms of this transition. You look fantastic, so I hope you don't mind saying your age.
Oh, not at all, not at all. One of those will wave a flag. Within the month, within this month, the Carnival Week, I will be 71. Okay.
So you are on
1950.
second of the three stages of the stage of stages.
Right, yes, yes. I'm nearly getting up there.
Nice.
Yes, I'm a big girl now.
Nice.
Yes. Well, what can I say about myself? I have many varying interests. I belong to 5 communities.
Uh-huh.
And that is what I don't know if we have spoken about this, but that is what the virtual world has allowed me to do.
What are
For
those
instance,
5
I belong to the Lydian.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. The Lydian Singers is a major one.
Yes.
And that is usually physical. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have rehearsal and performances and so.
Yes.
But we have a virtual community that we meet on occasion, not as much as before, but that's still ongoing, the Lydian Singers. Well, there's Connections 50 plus,
Yes.
that I go in and out all the time. And talking about virtual, we have SJC WOW. I went to school in San Fernando, St. Joseph's Convent.
So did I.
Hey, hello, girl. Yes. And my cohort, we met, 13, 14 of us met in Tobago when we were 50 years graduated from school.
Wow.
Since then, we have a small community going, the WhatsApp thing, the messages back and forth, you know, and, you know, we chat and so on. So that's 3. 4, well, we're colleagues.
Now, just to let people be very clear, SJC
Yes.
San Fernando, wow.
Yes.
What does the wow
Yes.
mean?
Wow. Oh, women of worth.
Exactly.
WOW, women of worth.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
SJC, wow. Well, women of worth, oh boy, those girls. I mean, I am a kind of background there. We have scholarship winners, we have writers, we have ambassadors, all sorts of things in that little Women of Worth group.
Nice.
So that's SJC. Wow. Then I talk about work colleagues.
Yes.
And then there's a tiny little group I belong to called the Magnificent 7. There's a little story. There are 6 of us, 50 plus women.
Uh-huh.
So the person who put it together and called ourselves the Magnificent 7, we said, but Judy, how you mean it's Magnificent 7? There are 6 of us. She said, but you can't forget Jesus. So here, who is number 7?
Jesus.
That's Jesus.
Very
This
good.
is number 7 in the Magnificent 7 group. So, you know, the virtual existence that we now have has allowed me to belong to 5 communities all at the same time. If I had to go to a meeting, I would do nothing else but meeting 5 days a week, you know? So that's one of the benefits, I think, of our COVID existence.
Michael, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm listening to this and I'm thinking of us because we at Connections 50 Plus look at life, you know, we have our 3 buckets. We have the self-care, we have the care of your business, your money, and then we talk about community. What do you think of this expression of 7 communities that Pat has discovered in the pandemic, all of which are virtual?
I think it's great. It's a great example of resilience. And I think it's just finding other channels to express our natural selves as humans. We are social beings. And, you know, when one door closed, another one opened. So it's not as though she would not have been engaged with these communities if you asked me. It's just now the technology has allowed a different way of interacting with them, and there have been some benefits in terms of not being on the road, safety, traffic, all the rest of it. But I think fundamentally this is just a reflection of who she is. I mean, I've just met her, but in the last 5-10 minutes, this just sounds like who she is. If she had to jump on a canoe and meet these people, she would do it.
Hey. Jump on the boat and go to Tobago.
See what I mean? But I think resilience is what I'm getting from this. We can sit down and be depressed, or we can choose to respond strategically. And this sounds just like that.
Yes.
Yes, and early in the pandemic, it was a choice actually.
Embracing the
I
technology.
started doing this kind of thing, and
Yeah.
and then yes, seeing people face to face every evening at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Calling someone, saying, hi, how are you? Let me see your face on WhatsApp, whatever. But that's the pandemic, and we've grown since then.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else should I say about myself?
Let's focus.
There's so much. I mean, I'm down here at 71.
Let's focus
down here a
on
long
that
time.
bucket, because I'm glad looking at you, I can see that you take care of yourself. And I know Pat is always on point, and professionally it's required. Okay, but you take care of yourself. And so we're left with that economic bucket. Right now, you're an agent with Guardian Life. As you look down the road, all right, you're 71 in a couple of weeks. All right. What are you seeing as what are your plans to make sure that there is a constant income stream, or do you think that you are fine where you are right now?
Do you think that you are fine where you are right now? During my prime time reset, there was a woman there by the name of Terry Ann. Asked some hard questions. Which, who is she? That Terry Ann girl?
Yes. I think I've met her.
Yeah, good. Well, she asked some hard questions. What is your lifestyle like? What do you expect? And I flippingly said, well, I will renovate the house and get a little income from that and so on. And then we started to do the math. And when you do the math, literally, I'm not talking about do the math. I'm talking about literally taking the figures and exploring them. You say, hey, what's going on here? Is this for real? Because, I mean, I'm working, I have NIS and da-da-da. But in 10 years' time, what are the realities? My husband's pension will run out. The bank, something or the other, I see some letter about half of the pension when it gets to a certain stage. And the cost of doing the renovation is what really shook me up. But in addition to that, I always wanted to do this hydroponics. And they have some art, or should I do other things? As you know, I'm very interested, as I said. I could do all kind of things. But then I also believe in miracles. Statement, I also believe in miracles. And you have that picture of my kale garden. The way I came to the kale garden, here's a nice word, serendipity. My first foray into growing things was many years ago. Serendipity again. I left the bank, I walked out of the bank, and I started doing the grow box farming.
When would that have been, Pat? 35,
86.
Years ago?
Yeah, because it's 4 years.
30, 35 years ago.
1986. Yeah. And I was introduced to grow box farming by Nello Street. They had a little grow box in the back of the business place. And I was so excited because I had also seen the grow box farming from the grow box master himself from Loma Linda University, who had come to Trinidad and put up something.
Mhm.
So I jumped at that. But then life changed.
Yeah.
Abuka made his play, and my manager dragged me from the garden, kicking and screaming, into the insurance industry. It hasn't been a bad ride. It's been quite a success here and there. And I'm glad to say I still have the energy to continue doing that. But let's go back to
Mhm.
the hydroponic
So that love of
and the
gardening
miracle.
you've always loved gardening, or was it sparked by that encounter with the grow box?
That I could do it as a means of income
Yeah.
and sustain myself and my family was the box idea. Because here we are, we can use one plot of land and produce the amount of produce that somebody who have 5 acres and so on is able to do. And easier too. And the hydroponics is supposed to be simple again. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, interesting.
Okay. There is the pH meter, and there is the timing of this, and the pests, and the disease, and the fungus, and the slugs. Ooh. Ooh. And the birds.
Mm-hmm.
So that there are challenges, but then we come to the miracle.
Yeah. So your first foray into hydroponic was about what time? What period would that first period be?
I didn't do that. My son did.
Okay.
But it was a difficult time.
Yeah.
And then I went to university, man,
Mm-hmm.
to find out about hydroponics. I took the course. I went to the campus and I received assistance with my hydroponic endeavor.
Yeah.
Also didn't work out.
Why?
The technicalities. And when you don't know for yourself, you depend on others, and others ain't have time with you. They have their own needs, they have their own objectives, and you can come into their objectives, yes, from a scientific point of view, and the numbers and the statistics and so on and so forth, but nothing to do with you and your
Life.
intention to gain an income from this enterprise, okay? Or to break even, to show, it also, I said it wasn't easy. It also takes $1,
Yeah.
okay? You're putting out X $1,000, no return. And what is it all about? Is you want to see the slugs and the snails and the whoever? No. You want a return.
Mm-hmm.
So giving me advice, but as I said, they ain't really business with you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question, if I may. How did
Certainly.
you manage this exploration while maintaining your full-time occupation?
That's relatively easy.
Okay.
You get up in the morning, you spend an hour. You find yourself in the office, or you find yourself on the virtual whatever. You do what you need to do. You speak to your clients, you close cases, you send in the documentation, etc. You follow up, you make sure it's completed, you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I can put the industry in a box like that. That also is not easy. You got to stick at it. Okay.
Because a lot of people would say, yes, I have a dream, I have an idea, I used to do so and so. But then, I started working, I got a couple of promotions, I have a family, I have kids to do this with, and somehow your dream gets deferred. And when you arrive closer to 50 and you start looking down the barrel of the future, you start to maybe panic and say, oh gosh, maybe I missed the boat, maybe it's too late, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, and you sink deep into more paralysis. How did you avoid that? Or what would you say to such a person?
To such a person, do the preset, do the reset.
The connections
No,
plus private
no, this is quite serious.
Seriously.
Yeah. Earlier in my career, I also did training and I assisted people in preparing for retirement. doing
Right.
programs, a 2-day program, a 3-day program, preparing for retirement. And so that preparing for retirement was not a foreign thing to me. As I was saying to Terry Ann the other day, one of the programs I did, I said to a woman in the program, so what would be your means of income? How much do you expect from your pension? She said to me, I don't know. My boss is a nice fella. He go fix me up. So that preparing for retirement has always been something that I have thought. At age 12, I was preparing for retirement.
Mhm.
I started learning to crochet and to knit and all those things. You know, in 1962, that was an applicable activity and an expectation that you had your rocking chair and your glasses and your needles and so on. But that's 1962. Fast forward to how many years later,
Yeah.
we are looking now at income streams,
Mm-hmm.
just an income. When I graduated from school, the neighbor said to me, so what are you doing now? I said, well, you know, I made an application to a few of the banks and so, and I'm looking at, he looked at me in horror. He said, the banks? So I said that. He said, no, 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 no. You join the service and then you get your pension. Did you hear the sentence? You
Yeah.
join the service and then you get your pension.
Doesn't work out. Doesn't work out. Because, Pat, as we saw when we did the numbers, you really cannot, when you think of all the dreams that you have of doing the annex and setting up this business and that, if you don't go and find out exactly what funds you have, you don't realize
Mhm.
you need to put things in place to supplement. Now, I know you would have had ups and downs in terms of your experience with your kale farming, but I and your hydroponics. But I want to take us quickly to the point of you doing the reset. And what was the challenge then in terms of your life, where you were in your life, and your decision to, what was the process of that decision? All right, I'm going to make another go of this thing.
You kind of say, well, what can I do? What do I like to do? Oh, I have another interest. Huh? I want to do narrations for ebooks and that kind of something. That's another source of income. Oh, I want to say something.
Mhm.
There is a mindset of people who cannot see a monetary connection to their abilities, their skills, their whatever. Okay?
Oh, yes.
They have a wonderful skill of making kurma. Now, it's not every kurma that nice. Some of them can break your teeth. You can make kurma. And you don't have to get up in the morning at 6 o'clock and sweat over the pot from 6 till 6 in the evening to make kurma. You could decide to make kurma
Saturday.
twice on a Friday or something, package it nicely and get your daughter and your son and thing to sell it.
Mhm.
There are many things that can be monetized that people say, oh, not me, I can't do that.
But why? And that's the thing that I want us to get at. That why? Because Michael, I know that in your, through your career, you would have passed through many professionals going on. There's something that happens to us. I call it the seduction of the salary. That all the skills on all the talents that we would have had, that things that we can do well, and we don't realize that we ourselves pay people to do what we can do, or we see people paying other people to do what we know we can do well, and we don't realize that therein lies the seed of how we can monetize a skill that we have in our third act life. Has that been a feature, or has that been a concern for people, Michael, that you would have been interacting with?
The observation I would say is that is largely a lot of how we are socialized. I remember when I was in secondary school, the aspiration was to do well, perhaps win a scholarship and go to a fancy university and so on.
Mhm.
And it was almost with pity that people were looked upon and said, well, you know, he didn't do well. His mother or his parents opened a business for him. It was like, you know, well, he couldn't really make it
Right.
in the real world. So
Mhm.
they opened a business. So there was this hard line between ability and entrepreneurship. And from early, those two, I mean, the twain were never to meet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really a revelation when you went into business school later on, and you realize that in other parts of the world, that the most successful professors were those who are active in private enterprise, dealing with industry, creating things, trying things, advising real companies, as opposed to reaching for this gilded tower of status or whatever that thing is. So the battle to pull to reconnect skill and entrepreneurship is one I think that it's being forced now, but it's really a mental gulf that was created in the way that, at least speaking for my generation, that's how we were kind of brought up. Ability meant academic success,
Yeah.
and thereafter, you know, you would live happily ever after in a career and a pension.
You would join the
However,
service and then get your pension.
yeah, but
I want, mhm.
the
Yes,
world changed radically since
Since then.
then.
yeah. No,
Mhm.
I want to get right to the heart of the thing that I believe the dilemma people have, because everyone sees the one who Michael didn't do too well and they set them up in a little business, poor soul. But they are seeing that that person has is in control of the income
Yeah.
stream that allows them to live a life, while you are here stuck to the salary or the pension and unable to move. And I think the thing that causes that gulf is that when you go into business, you have to go and sell and you have to ask people for their patronage. You have to go and ask somebody to buy my thing, please, and face the rejection, the possibility of rejection, you know, and that's the be all and end all of the whole thing. And many people, that that kurma that you could buy, or that talent to paint fabric or make jewelry, you know, we believe this thing that we make, you know, you will go on to the craft markets and you will purchase them. You will say, oh, this is so lovely, this is so nice. But when you have to stand behind the table and offer, and we've talked to so many people on this show, you know, you talk to the Gregory Maguires, you talk to the Carol Taradats and so on, and so many career people. You know, you had your career, you had your salary, and it often takes a knock. In Gregory's case, well, he understood the value of entrepreneurship in terms of developing McKay's rum cream. But so many of us really devalue that inherent skill that we have, that we can, that people will value. Let's see, don't talk about the monetizing, that people will value. And we don't realize that we can start cultivating this, developing a small group of people, whether you trade, whether you sell. And that's the thing that can really reap you a good parallel income, parallel to the probably your regular work if you're still working.
The market hasn't come about as yet, the real market. I have a small list on my phone, which I call Kale for Sale. I reap on a Thursday and a Friday night, Thursday evening, Friday evening. I package Thursday night for distribution to that list of people. It's about 15 people, 15 that kind of number,
Mhm.
little less. So that is a person-to-person sale.
Yeah.
And on Friday, I would then cut the rest and go to the farmer's market right around the corner from my house. Mhm. They give me a table. They tell me bring a tablecloth. They give me a table. But then I don't have a real set. And this is where the second section, which was established on Saturday,
Mhm.
to play, that I can go to the market more regularly than in the past.
But if, let's talk about the success that you've had. So
Mhm.
when I say go to markets, you may think that I'm talking about something.
The farmer's
Well,
market,
no,
okay. Mhm.
go to market is who's buying your kale
Yeah,
because you
yeah.
plant kale.
Mhm, mhm.
And how difficult was it? Let me put it this way. How difficult was it for you to find people to buy a kale?
No, remember, I belong to the Lydian Singers. So that was the first market. I trundled there with a bag, an insulated bag. I said, hello, kale for sale. You want kale? You want kale? You
How
want
many bags of kale did you start with? The first
15,
time you went.
15 bags of kale.
And let me expose your business. A bag of
Yeah.
kale is about how much money?
That's just $10 for one.
Yeah, so $150 every time you went with your kale for sale. And I think, people think going to market is a big thing. And what was great about when you started, you identified your 6 communities.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And people don't realize that thing that they do very well. Your first market is to your personal
Yeah.
one-to-one community.
Then the second section is in the office. Oh, family too. Mhm. Auntie Diane, my sister up the road, my sister-in-law down the road. And yeah, hello, yeah.
Now, did you have enough? What started? You just planted what you had and sold what you had, or did you project and then said, "No, I need to get kale to project to this market"? What was your approach?
Now, we did some lettuce, and my little advisor from the country, Sharon, dear Sharon, she told me that I could grow one pipe with, not broccoli, the next one,
Cauliflower.
cauliflower, shadow benny, chive, everything
Mm-hmm.
in one trough. But no, 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 no. That take away from my $10 in that trough. Okay. So the 4 cauliflower that I grow was nice. The 3 neighbors get one and we got one and we had cauliflower. The chive get giveaway, the chive get put in the fridge. But no, I wanted to get a return from it. So we went to get, and in addition, everybody growing lettuce, everybody growing lettuce.
Yeah.
So when I go to the market with my lettuce, whether the personal market or the market so-called,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a
It's not
price
bad.
item.
Nice.
Okay. So I chose something that, yes, we have a market for it in Trinidad now because everybody is getting healthy and so on. So yes, kale is now accepted in the local palette.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that I decided to grow kale. I may in the future venture out to something else, but now I want to see a return from the kale investment.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Mhm, mhm.
Great. What strikes you about this story, Michael?
I think the similar to the resilience is just the optimism to keep going
Mm-hmm.
and to be flexible. I'm not hearing stress or panic.
Mm-hmm.
I tried the cauliflower. Um, I was successful in getting it to grow. However, the kale is what brought the return. So let me concentrate on that. And I think along the journey, hearing some market savvy coming in to that particular niche. Everybody's doing lettuce. However, kale is not as common and there's demand for that. So, you adapt to the market. I think the encouragement is that you don't need to know everything up front,
Yes.
but you got to keep moving.
Exactly. Exactly. So Pat, do you see now we have the pictures that we are showing. How big is your estate? Because if you took
Yes.
these bags of hair, how big is the estate that you have?
The Kale estate.
Your
Oh, I love it.
plantation. How big is your plantation?
The front yard and the side yard.
But front yard and side yard is what? I mean, in terms of dimensions, linear footage, and so on. We had
Oh, that is-
Romeo who was doing all kind of vegetation, and she said, no, it's a 70 feet frontage and 20 feet. And I said, wait, but that's a normal lot of land. But how large is your estate?
My estate is 60 foot on one side and about no less than 20 feet on the front, because I also park my car there when I come in.
So your
that you have-
actual cultivated land area, I think it is a certain linear footage of pipe.
That's correct. That is correct. I can tell you the capacity of each pipe. Both sides are approximately 240 plants.
Okay.
Right.
If you were to put that in the ground, you would need estate.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have created an estate, and we see
Yeah, estate man.
right there in your concrete jungle backyard that is generating at $10 a bag. And let me say, on an average week, how many bags can you harvest? Can you put out there?
I want to get up to 70, 80 bags regularly.
Okay.
100 bags would be lovely.
So if you are able,
We just have to put up a half a A-frame on the wall to get to.
so just some more pipe.
Yeah. A few more pipes.
So you have found a way that is not at all intrusive, coming off of a passion that you have, and something that you were interested in, and you are now in a position to generate an incremental $700 to $800 a week, and you have the capacity to expand at any point. I think that is the essence of entrepreneurship. Now tell me, what are the special powers that you have that make you so different, that causes you to do this so easily? Were you born into wealth? Do you have factors all over the place?
Special powers, I love it.
Do you have an MBA?
What are the exceptional things that cause you to be able to do this, that the other person who can make a cake or could plant some roses or that they can't
do some flower arrangement.
What are your special powers, Pat?
Braid hair. My special powers, I don't know. I like people. I suppose I connect well with people, and there's always a little excitement bubbling inside of me somewhere.
I want to suggest that your special power is that you make up your mind and you act.
I jump right in. I think that's
what do you think about that special power? Do you think there's another special power somewhere?
Fella upstairs, I tell you, I believe in miracles. Okay, and it's not me who say that Jesus is part of the group 6 of us plus Jesus, but the miracle. We didn't talk about the miracle. My insurance life brought me in connection with a young lady, which I would never expect to meet.
Yeah.
Usually I get my prospects from NS Chain and da-da-da-da-da. And I got what we call, this person didn't have an agent. And she was referred to me, but in a very strange way, not in a normal way. And when we started to talk, as I say, I connect with people. said that, I was doing this hydroponic thing and having a lot of problems. The young lady, she kind of blossomed in a second. She took a breath and lifted her head and her eyes open and had, that is my passion. So of course I put down the insurance thing and we talked about that. And she brought her friend and work partner. He is an engineer. She's
Sharon.
a teacher. Sharon, yes, Sharon.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And this is where we are now. In addition, when I say miracle, when I did the reset, I said, but early next year, I will probably try this hydroponic thing again and so on, and I'll prepare myself for it. And hello, the 8th of August, it was building and planting and watering and systems, and here we are.
It's great.
When you are ready, the universe is also ready. The universe is also ready, and not ready when you're ready. It's jumping ahead of you. So all you have to do is trump and follow suit. Ah, that's a bad word. Ooh, just follow suit.
It was our word. No, I really do want to endorse that. And it's something that's very passionate. It's close to my heart. The fact that we can all do so much to Jennifer and I just doing connections is part of this thing also. How we got Michael on board with us is also part of that. And I really do believe that once we make up our mind, all right, I have to do something. And then you sit through, even if you do it with the help of our program, you did the primetime reset, which allows you to really introspect and focus a whole lot on an area that you're interested in. Michael, you did the Essentials Toolkit, which really prepares you to get to the stage where you might have an idea about something, and then you go forward. And I do believe that once you make up your mind and you begin to act, yes, the universe does bring the people and the resources that you need to get your projects done. And I would say that, I always had a little thing with, I'm going to do gardening. I am a good little farmer because I'm not dealing with frogs. Things mustn't be on the ground. I must be able to see clearly where the rodents running. So I have a lot of rules for my kind of crop rotation. And when I visited Pat at her estate, all 6 or 7 tubes of her estate, I said, no, this is for me. And, I was so happy that Pat was liming with me. Was it Sunday, Pat? That you were able to see my garden. And yes. I have
your estate.
I have my just now. My intention is not commercial, but my intention is to be self-sufficient with vegetables by June. And I'm going to get there much sooner. And, I just saw Pat's thing and I said, this is it. So, the thing I want to point out to everyone in our last few minutes is that there is so much that we can do once we get in our mind that we're ready. You have skills. You have things that can be monetized, and you can do it. Isn't that so, Michael?
Yeah, and I think just that first step, however insignificant it may seem, just take the first step, just move in a different direction. They said that, the River Jordan won't open unless you put your foot in it. We're standing up waiting for the thing to open, but we have to get wet. We have to get our hands dirty. We have to buy that pipe. We have to take that class. We have to join that WhatsApp group or that Facebook. We have to do something.
Buy the flour and the butter and start to make a cake.
Yeah. Just take that first step. The assessments will help. The toolkit will clarify. All these things will help us get into the front of mind. But at the end of the day, we have to take that first step towards the direction that we want. So I really took this lesson from Pat. I took it. I mean, she liked this thing for a while. She tried and she had some ups and downs, but there came a day. Yeah. They just came that day when everything lined up but she was in the ballpark. She had her track shoes on. She was ready.
Yep.
And when she heard that pistol, she was ready to run.
Get it off. Listen, I think this is beautiful. I am so glad that we had this conversation, Pat and Michael, because for all of you out there, you know, Jan and I have received some calls from different people because we've reached out and asked people to touch base with us. And there's so many people with all kinds of talents, you know, whether it is they do bed sheets and tablecloths, whether they make crafts. Some of you of the islands, now that your tourism industry has been totally decimated, your entire output would have been oriented to that. You have to pivot and do something else. Other people, the job has disappeared. What am I to do? There is hope. Don't think that you can replace all of the income in one go. It's going to be gradual. You're going to start in a certain place. If you're going to go into something that you've not been before, you're not going to start large. But once you have a quality product, and then you look at Pat's scale, you will see a quality product. It will happen. And I'm so happy that we had this discussion, and Pat, you were able to share your story and inspire some people to just, that thing that you like, that thing that's buzzing in you, just go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, and your Sharon is out there.
Yes, your
Sharon is out there.
Your Sharon is waiting for you.
Definitely. So we are going to leave with some more. And again, I want to emphasize, Jan, we'll be back on next week. And Dora, happy birthday. Celebrate all for the rest of the year until next January.
Happy birthday.
Yes, we're going to leave with some beautiful pictures of Pat's gardens. And I'll give you a glimpse of my estate too. So just fulfill your dreams. You can do it. It's a business. It's inside of you. Don't let the word business daunt you. Don't let scale stop you. Start. It's yours. Even if you start this small, it's yours. Start it. See you guys. Bye.
Thank you for the opportunity. Bye. Okay.
Thanks, Pat.
Welcome.
50 Plus Tribe and followers from TNT and the Caribbean.
Thank you for joining us on this Connections 50 Plus Wednesday Alive show.
We hope you enjoyed the lively conversation and look forward to seeing you next week.
Don't forget to like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
We really love getting your feedback.
Bye for now.